Let's get started. This is being recorded.
I just want to welcome everybody from Donald, Maycott, Debbie Gentry, and myself, Laura, who's not able to join us tonight. Welcome you. And thank you for coming to the Seniors Network. We are here to talk about referral networks. And as all of us know, we're from all over. And if you can, in the chat box, I would love to know where everybody's from, so I can just kind of get an overall view of what states we're all representing here. So if you can, in the chat box, go ahead. Yes, the session is being recorded. So if for some reason you end up needing to get off tonight, you will see it tomorrow. Donald will be dropping a link tomorrow, either in Facebook or in Workplace, with this recording. So don't worry about it, it's there. I've got people answering. We've got Los Angeles, Washington, Virginia, Florida. So here's the thing. All of us are coming from different demographics. Our senior market is different. And the type of marketing that we'll be doing in that area and the referral network that we'll be needing is going to vary from place to place. Some places have snow, so you'd probably put on your referral, on this referral network, people that would shovel snow. We're going to go over a base of what a referral network is, and then we're going to tweak it with senior network, like giving them senior referrals to kind of tweak you more of not an expert, but somebody that seniors can go to for senior type referrals as well. So as I said, all of our areas are different in our needs for these referrals, but Debbie and Donald got together with some of the agents within their network in the villages and put together a pretty nice list that I'm going to have them share with us. Donald, do you mind sharing maybe your screen so everybody can see what that list is? Okay. So this list, I want everybody to look at it. It's a great base for referral list. So when somebody in your network, in your sphere, calls you and says, hey, I need a blah, blah, blah. Why don't we go to home services? Donald, please. And as you can see, home services, you have air conditioning and blinds and carpet cleaning and closets. When you hear people talk about your sphere and talk about networking, this is one of those great examples of networking in your sphere. If you get together with the agents around you and you network with them, ask them for their referral list as well. But more than likely, the more that you network with these people and that you use them, they're going to also help you by maybe referring you people and or giving you some kind of a discount if you're going to be using them as well. But this network is kind of your base. But you will see on Donald's, it's very much to the villages. They have vinyl siding repair. I can tell you if that you're living in Southern California, we don't really have vinyl siding repair and cleaning. Our homes don't have that. We've got, other things that we'll need and our gutters cleaned. So there's tweaks that would need to be done. But it's a great foundation and a base. Yes, make sure you put a disclaimer. Make sure you have that third-party referral disclaimer. That way, nobody can come back to you and say to you, Donald, do you want to tell them why? I think. Are you there?
You want to protect yourself. You want to protect your brokerage. You want to protect all parties involved. This list was developed by a number of different agents that are in our group and provided by them, their customers, and is really just a reference point for any of our customers. So the goal behind this was instead of our phones constantly ringing by somebody, one of our past customers, current customers, I need this, I need that, I'm looking for this, who do you recommend? We just put this little simple website together to do that. There are some more topics, more categories that we'll put in here. And you can really, we did a website, but you can really do an Excel spreadsheet. You could do a Word document. You could do whatever it is going to make it easy for you to do. Debbie and I just happen to do websites every once in a while. And it just makes it easy for us to categorize this stuff. The other thing is, so these are home services, things that primarily are going in your house. We have other services like airport transportation, attorneys, estate sale people, places to donate, things to, new and used furniture, home warranties, insurance, inspectors. So it makes it easier on us to be able to just hand over the website and let them pick and choose whoever they want. So again, the disclaimer protects us, our brokerage, and anyone else who's affiliated with the site. As you saw on the homepage, this is part of our team that works the villages, and they're the ones who actually use this list of information. The good thing is this is a living document, so this is constantly changing. You get somebody who's not playing right or not doing the right thing for customers, and you hear it from a customer, we take them off, and perhaps we put somebody else on, maybe we don't. It just depends. This is a free service to our customers. We don't charge for it. Not to say you can't charge for it. This can be monetized very easily. It could be another source of income. We just elect not to do that. We just want to provide a good service. And as Heather was saying, it's a differentiator. We look professional, we look organized, we look like, because we are professionals in what we do. So the thought behind it was being able to provide information free of charge at a click of a button by merely putting in a website address. In our case, our domain is neighborreferrals.com, because most of these are from neighbors. These are referrals from neighbors. Nextdoor is a great source of finding these folks, right? Nextdoor, the app, will tell you who's good and who's not. So if this is of something of interest to you, whether it's a website, Word document, Excel spreadsheet, however you want to present it, maybe you create a brochure. There's many different ways to do this. We just elected to do a website. But Nextdoor is a great resource for these vendors.
So I just want to let everybody know, Debbie Gentry put the link to this website down on the chat box. So if anybody is looking and wants to get ideas off this website, please follow that link. Now, I just want to point out, Donald, a few things on this that I absolutely love. It's not filled with stuff. Like, you don't have a lot of stuff. You've got very clean little logos for each little thing, or like little whatever you want to call them. You've got little logos for each one, so it says what it is and it shows what it is, and it's very easy to see. So when I was saying about tweaking this to also include what your neighborhood has, you could be that person that's living in an area that's all 2-story homes. And to give you a statistic, 10% of our nation's housing units are not ready to age in place. When you're living in the villages, It's a senior friendly, one of the largest communities. And they are aging friendly. They're one story, they're easy to get into, they're wide doorways. You don't have that across America. You just don't. And with targeting this market, you really need to think about other services that seniors are going to need. Home services, yes, they're important. Other services like Donald has, that has attorneys and airport transportation and estate sales and donations. However, what about people that need to declutter and downsize? That's going to be big, because typically before they get to the villages, we're the ones that are selling the homes to put them over in the villages to retire. So when us as agents in the rest of the United States, we need to think a little bit more beyond this list of what they have in the villages, and think more about the fact of, here's another thing. Seniors, when they take a fall, they're going to want maybe a mobile manicurist that comes to their home. Why don't you ask your manicurist or your hairdresser or whoever you have if they would go mobile, and see if somebody might want to pick them up as a client. These little things are very helpful for seniors. We know statistically seniors want to age in place. They want to. But we also know statistically, as the US Census says, that only 10% of our housing in the nation is actually going to accommodate them to age in place. So our job as real estate agents, let's give them this information and tweak it for seniors as well. And I mean, obviously you have, you've got your home services, your other services, and then you can have senior services. But I'm going to take this one step further, other than just this referrals. How about on your monthly newsletter, put a little box, because, we're always thinking about content and content creation. And so there's a piece of content that you can now put and add value to a newsletter, or to a piece of marketing material you're going to put out, or to possibly, if you're doing some sort of, social media, something, you can do a shout out to a business or to something that has done something for a client. It allows you just that much more of exposure out there, but it also helps you, network. It opens up your networking to a larger sphere, and you're also helping seniors. And one of the things we all know about seniors is they need to gain our trust. And if you really want to work in that niche of a market, you got to give them more stuff. And this little piece of referral service doesn't just stop at that, it stops at senior services. And I know I'm going to ask Eve Hill to jump in, because she and I put a list together of some senior services that we felt would be great to give, as referrals, or to think about, to put on that. And especially because Eve is going through this with her father. She had just lost her stepmom a couple week ago. So all of a sudden she became the caregiver for her father. And she was like, oh my God, he needs a mobile manicurist, and he needs this, and he needs this. And he lives in a 2-story, place. And how do we get from here? He does have a stair lift already in his home. So then that began thinking, oh my gosh, this referral service thing is important, because now she's trying to figure out what to do. So as a real estate agent, if you have this material sitting around in somebody's home, they're going to go, oh, there's this referral service for seniors, and go to it and look at maybe a website, or look at your material, or call you and ask you, do you know, hey, Eve, are you here?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Okay. Why don't you talk?
Oh, I think that, I've been finding a lot of senior services one by one. And I do think that if I knew of a resource that specialized and had a referral list of senior services in my area, it would be like a dream come true, because most of the lists for senior services you do have to pay for. Donald, it's a gift to the people in your area. It's wonderful because you can go through things like government agencies, but a lot of that is for low income. So if you're just looking for senior services that may or may not be covered by insurance, you know, you do have to figure out that list on your own. So a lot of these things like downsizing, very good for senior specific, like Heather said. And I also thought about smart home setup. My father's front door is a key lock, and he's going to have 24/7 caregivers. And so my brother said, you know, we should get a keypad. We should get a push button, so we don't have to have like a dozen keys floating around with all these caregivers or whatever, you know, and people coming in and out to help. So smart home setup, locksmith for smart homes. We talked about lighting for the visually impaired, people that, you know, about smart lighting and they know how to light for people that are visually impaired. And we talked about home healthcare agencies in the area. And there are temp home healthcare agencies if you need a fill-in at the last minute, and that would be a great resource. You could just go, oh, you know, let's see, well, occupational therapists, physical therapists, and the mobile services like the manicure, pedicures, the laundry pickup and drop off, grocery delivery, of course, and transportation options, because my father can't drive anymore. So if he needs to get to a medical appointment, there's Uber Assist, which is a great resource. I don't know if it's available everywhere, but they're slightly more trained. They will walk to the front door and walk you to the car and open the door and all that stuff. What else did we have? What else, Heather? Help me out, and then I'll take a breath.
Yeah, okay, good. I'll let you hang. So the bottom line is, as you can see, this in the senior sector, you can get very specific with things, or you can get very broad with things. But when you start networking with these people, you start becoming more and more of understanding the space and what they're going to need to live in versus what they're actually living in. Because there's three things that you need in order to age in place. And this is like nationally known, we all know. The three things are a step-free entry. So if they've got big steps leading up to that house, it's going to be hard if you're in a walker or wheelchair to get into your home. The second thing is going to be a bedroom and bathroom, like a full bathroom on the first floor. If it's not on a first floor, then you're going to need an elevator or a stair lift to get to a second floor or down below, wherever it is located. And your third thing is a bathroom that is going to need to be accessible, handicap accessible. So with those three things, that's a huge thing. Now, if you're looking at the US Census, it's telling us that only 10% of our nation's housing units actually have those three things. So I'm going to tell you that most of your demographics in your neighborhoods, other than the villages and like most of parts of Florida, that's your prime person. That's your prime person to sell and help them buy a home that's one level. That's a single level story that's easy access for them. And if they aren't going to move, because most of us don't want to move out of our home and we want to age in place, then you're going to have those people to help them age in place. You've just become an expert in that home modification. Maybe you can't modify the home, but you have all those people to help them modify that home.
Well, that was what I was going to say also. You have the list of certified aging in place specialists, customized aging. And
so that's just one area for you to be able to be that expert in the senior demographics. And there's a lot of great statistics out there. If you're looking at the fall rate, the CDC will tell you that 1/3 of seniors over the age of 65 take a fall, and 81% of them are in a bathroom. So, and think about that. You take a fall, you break a hip, you want to come home, but you can't shower because you have no full bathroom on the first floor. So how are you going to shower? How are you going to sleep? So those are the things that demographics is up against. And some of them are forced to move out of their homes because their home can't accommodate their needs all of a sudden. And it happens like that. Or if all of a sudden a spouse just passes away, like poof, and it's gone and it becomes overwhelming. You're sitting in a big home. If you become the expert in the senior market of offering them these, whatever this referral service of things to help them get through that and navigate that horrible time that they're going through. Because trust me, it's frantic, very frantic for them. You're just that much, you've got that much more gain above all the rest of the people around you. And so that's where I, as the referral service that I think is important for seniors. And Eve, I think you're about to say something.
Well, I was just going to ask about this, the process to build this wonderful list. And it took, as Donald said, many realtors, many people over a lot of experience that they had to build this list. And so Heather and I were talking about, well, how do you build a list? And it just takes a lot of, it does take the old fashioned talking to people and going to organizations and going to meetings and speaking, keep nodding your head and go ahead and tell me more about the process.
Yeah.
Building a list.
So part of working with the senior demographics or retirement demographics, I think, Debbie, are you going to pop in and say something? Okay. I think part of working with the senior demographics is just that, is networking. And networking doesn't just stop at finding these referrals. It's also networking within your community. And when you're networking within your community, you're also meeting all these referrals as well. Senior events. I know, I believe Amy Roberts is doing a senior event, and I was just talking to her about it. So she's going to be actually has a table at a senior event. So that's great exposure. And especially if you've got a referral list out there and you're talking about people that you can network with for these seniors, or that you can tell them about senior events that are happening, and you can refer them to the senior center who has classes. That's amazing. They want that stuff. They want engagement. So I think, that referral network that Donald and Debbie put together with other realtors is an amazing start. And I would love to see other realtors get together with groups of agents in their area to put together strong lists like that. I'm happy to hear other people talk. Anybody?
Or what you want to do is keep it close to the vest, and this way it's your competitive advantage. At the end of the day, the list, the website that Debbie and I put together is really geared towards our customer base. We really don't want every realtor in the area to know about it, simply because then you're no longer unique. You're no longer the expert because everybody has it. So that's kind of what we're doing with it, is we're giving it to all of our customers and all of the agents that we work with. Just trying to keep it close to the vest, though, because we do want to show that we're the experts in the area.
So we were talking about earlier in our leadership meeting of getting to contract to close is the hardest process. So one of the things I've always had is, as soon as I get under contract totally, then I send my buyers 6 documents automatically. And I send it in one email that says, here's what you're going to need in the next few weeks. Number 1's the inspectors. Number 2's the utility company for where you're living, et cetera, et cetera. Insurance companies, mortgage company if they need one. And I send them that document. That's kind of how this got started, because I'm sending that to my buyers, but it's so much easier if I can just say, go to neighborreferrals.com and everything's there. but you can start very small if you want to with your sellers. What do they need? They need somebody to fix everything found if you do repairs, or you want to do repairs before you sell. They may need new insurance people in Florida. Everybody's getting canceled because they got a 15-year-old roof. So they may need that. So start small, start with what people ask you for the most and get those in line. Inspectors, to me, I want to see their reports. I want to see that they take great photos, very detailed of what the problem is, where it's at, and that they're able to send that electronically, because I work with tons of people not here. So don't think you have to bite off, everything at once. Take one bite at a time, like they say.
But what I love, don't reinvent the wheel, you guys. Literally do not reinvent a wheel. Take what they have and the meat of it, copy it, because they've done the homework for us, and put your own people in it and then add to it. But do not start from scratch, because you're going to be spending all that time that they already did for you, which is what I love. Thank you, Donald and Debbie.
Yeah, keep it simple. The simpler it is, the easier it is going to be for you to put your list together. As Debbie mentioned, those things that you get asked the most, those are your first topics. Those are the first categories you want to cover.
So on Nextdoor, how many on here actually use Nextdoor 3 times a week or more?
Go ahead and put it in the chat box, everybody.
Who's on Nextdoor at least 3 times a week?
I got Roger says he's on it. Anybody? Okay, you're gonna have to do a Nextdoor thing.
Right. So I'm on it 3 to 4 times a day because I'm a lead. I will tell you that people say, who's the best plumber? And you get 20 people that say Joe Blow plumber. Well, that may be a clue they're a good plumber. And then you get the people that say, Larry Smith is an awful plumber. So, you put up there plumber, just put the word plumber. And you find real quick who it is. And say the first one on there, I've never heard of in my lifetime. So who knows? And I don't take the little heart reviews for the gospel. I watch to see what people say when somebody asks for a plumber. Who in the heck is a good plumber? That and it's a guy wanting to do a tankless water heater. But that's how you can build your list pretty quick. If you're on Nextdoor and you actually watch and see, are you asked the question, who's the best person that does plumbing? Right there, the guy is Tom Trainer. He's not a plumber. And if you scroll down, you'll see my post right after that. Keep on scrolling, Donna, on that post. Can you see it? Just scroll down. Can you go to that one? Anyways, the next thing I put is make sure you get a Florida licensed plumber, because I know Tom Trainer is not a plumber. You need to know who is licensed and who's not. So Nextdoor is a wonderful resource.
Yeah, it won't let me scroll down any further. Well, this one only has 3 comments. So it might have been somebody else.
That's the other thing. Debbie, thank you for saying that. One of the things, please keep in mind when you are referring people, licensed, bonded, insured, you want to make sure these people that are walking into a potential client's home, a client's home, or whatever it is, they are licensed, bonded, and insured. because God forbid, should something happen, you don't want to look like the idiot that just referred somebody that was the cheapest guy who doesn't have the license and now has screwed everything up for this person, because you will be the real estate agent that will be on next door getting slammed for referring that person, because that will be the first place that they're going to go to complain about something, or Facebook or Yelp or whatever it is. So licensed, bonded, and insured. If they're not bond, I mean, at least licensed and insured, depending on your state. Some of the other things I was noticing about the website that they have, you know, if you're on the West Coast, we all have pools. So like you'd have a pool person in there. I know if you're on the East Coast, you'd need to shovel snow. So like home services, you'd probably put a snow, like somebody that shovels snow in there. Some of the other things that I know seniors really need are places, how to get to their medical appointments. There's a lot of great in everybody's area. If you go to your county's aging website, they'll talk about their ride services for seniors. So you can go get a list from them, and it's pretty good. But as we look through this, you know, like your lanai and your Florida rooms, I'm taking that's your outdoor screening. Yeah, see, nobody has that. However, you know, I can tell you, like, if you're on the West Coast, you would need brush clearance in certain areas. Those are the kinds of tweaks that I would say, just think about where you're located and the needs of the homeowners that are there, whether you're East Coast, West Coast, North, South, Canada, wherever you're joining us. All, you know, each area has its own, but make sure that you tweak it to your area. And then add some senior stuff in there, so it looks, you know, like another little thing for seniors. So you kind of have that little niche for the senior referrals as well. And then you take it and you market it on your marketing, you know, on whether it's newsletters or whatever it is. So then you kind of get it, you're kind of in the know, and people see it, and who knows if they're going to see it. I am open for any kind of comments, questions. We're at 7:38, and I would love to hear from feedback from people and some of the things that you guys would have tweak on here.
And share, maybe you have one already developed. We'd love to see.
Anybody have one? I would love to see it.
I don't have one, but I have a question.
Sure.
I want one. So that's my question. So this isn't a separate website. This is just a link that you give your own clients because you don't want to share it. You want to kind of be careful who you hand it out to, keep it close to the chest sort of thing. Is that right? How do you, you don't have it out there for everybody. Is that right?
It is a website. Anybody can actually find it. We don't publicize it really. But it is a full-fledged website.
Well, that's what it looked like, but I wanted to be sure, because when you said it, you know, to keep it close to your chest, I'm like,
we just don't advertise it. We don't advertise
there's
it.
There's a link to it, Amy, in the chat.
Yeah.
You can go to it in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been on it. I've been playing on it.
Okay.
I added a few other ideas if y'all wanted to look at them, see if that was anything.
And by the way, okay, so Amy Roberts, for those that didn't see in the chat, gave some other ideas. She is out of Austin, Texas. San Antonio, sorry, because I was thinking, I don't know why I keep saying Austin. San Antonio, Texas. And she is also putting together a senior event. But this is some great ideas. She's talking about, you know, durable medical equipment, you know, a place where you can get that, a local place, your hospice, your local Alzheimer's, home healthcare, PT, OT. There's a bunch of people that, you know, that come in for home healthcare, your senior communities. You can put some referrals for your senior community on there. Senior travel agent. I mean, we all know we like to travel. However, It's you very specific in the way we need to travel, especially if you're in a wheelchair. So some of those are kind of nice when you're looking on local.
Another idea we have around our area is a mobile ER. So if you have an accident, you can call this mobile ER and they will come to your house, and then you don't have to go sit at a hospital somewhere. And little things like that might be helpful. You know, like a magnet, something you put on your fridge.
It's so interesting because all of our areas have different senior things. I know Eve was talking about the Uber Assist. However, here in Florida, I don't believe we have Uber Assist. I think we looked and there isn't Uber Assist here. Or we have there's other things. So you have, the research, yes, you're going to have to go through to see what your local areas have to offer. But just doing that very little research is going to help somebody out there. And it's just that one little somebody who may look at you and go, this person is the person that's going to sell my home, or that I need to help me find another home and I need to sell this one because I'm not able to live here. And that's typically where they're going to sell homes. If you're not able to help them age in the home they're currently in, then let's help them find a home that they can age in. It doesn't have to be a facility. It doesn't. There's too many options out there now. It doesn't have to be a facility anymore. And it's our job to change that thought process. Is like, you don't have to go to a facility. You need a one-story home with, a full bathroom and a bedroom on the first floor with, accessibility features in a bathroom, a walk-in shower. Oh, I know I was talking about accessible bathroom. You need a walk-in shower. You're going to need railings like a hand bar, a grab bar by the toilet, a seat in the shower to shower in. So it's those things. So to accommodate somebody in a wheelchair or a walker, that's what it comes down to. And so I urge you to look at statistics about our nation's both housing units and what it's capable of doing, what it's not capable of doing, of aging in place, and where the senior market is heading. We're going to have to help age in place. Only 10% of our homes are ready. So 90% of it isn't. Either they're going to sell or not. And then by 2030, all those baby boomers, they're going to be 65.
So one of the reasons that we said keep it close to your chest, to me, this is a very easy, replicatable process. And we're lucky because we have a small community of realtors here. Our goal, which we're doing on a monthly basis, is having a monthly realtor get together so we do know each other better. But if we told them, hey, look what we did, it's a very easy thing that anybody could create a PowerPoint or whatever of this and hand it out, and now we're not unique. That's why I caution us to keep it close to who you're working with closely. Until you get to know them, you don't want to share it. People ask me all the time when they're working with me from a buyer side, well, do you have a list of inspectors? And I said, as soon as we get under contract, I'll send you all that detail. I'm not sending my list of inspectors until we're under contract. No way in the world am I giving my good inspectors to them. So think about who you share with. So Donald and I also are heavily into attracting. So we've been talking about, okay, we have this. So now we have people scattered other places. So we've decided we're going to take this one step further. So we're going to do the states. So 50 states. And off of Florida, we may have somebody in Tampa, and they'll have their lists that we'll put together on here. We've got our list. We may have Heather have her list on here, etc. You know, it's the different areas. So you don't have to keep this localized. You could take this national wide if you have a group of realtors that you're working with in your organization, group, whatever you want to call them.
Thank you, Debbie, for sharing that. I appreciate it.
So guys,
I know
you
Martha.
guys willing to work
I'm
with
sorry,
us
Roger?
to put a section in there that say other states on yours, or what?
Say what?
Are you willing to work with us and put other states on your sheet? So when you go to the webpage, you click Florida, you pick Georgia, you pick South Carolina, whatever.
Yeah, so what we're looking at is anybody that's within what we'll call our group, our organization. You know, team's a different word in EXP.
Correct.
If you're with EXP, but so we've got a lady in Georgia, so she needs to have her own list at this point. We have people over in Tampa. We need to have a list from Tampa. So that's an attraction tool to show even other realtors that look what we provide our customers, our clients. And so they may not have that too. So we're trying to be what I'll call different. And every realtor should be different than your competition.
So one thing I started a while back, I haven't been on it recently, but I see it still is working. Homekeeper, if you ever have seen, got emails from them, HOMEKEEPR. And so from my EXP website, I created a link to resources, a resource page, where I put our affiliates and then a link to this Homekeeper. And in the Homekeeper, you can put in for the different professions your preferred services. And so that list that Don and Debbie have on their website, you can put all those people in that Homekeeper. And Homekeeper does a blog, their own blog. And so if people are interested, they'll click on the blog and then your picture will show up. So it's kind of a dual marketing. And so anyway, so it's just another option for you to, for something that's already out there and could be, marketing for you also. If you use it maybe a little more actively than I do, where you can add your own preferred service providers right from your website.
I actually did a trial when we were thinking about doing this. Yeah. The problem was they didn't have our people. You have to, and I forgot what the trick was, but they have to be able to, what I'll call vet them, to check them out. And we're such a small area that they didn't have our area. Plus then we'd be paying on a monthly basis. I love Homekeeper for their articles and their blogs that they do. But unfortunately for the referral side, it didn't work for us.
Oh, okay. Because yeah, the way I remember it is you put, you sign up your preferred provider and then they respond and then they get added to the list or something. If they want to be part of the if they want to be part of your list. So I think that's kind of like the person that you want also has to be wanted as someone to be in the system, because
it's kind of like it's like a dating app. One person connects the second person, and then you match, so they're on your list.
Then you're good to go.
Yeah. It was the thing that if they didn't have a website, I couldn't do it. And most of our guys don't have websites. Gotcha. A plumber, good luck having a plumber with the website.
So I just want to piggyback, Debbie, on something that you were saying about, keeping something like this close to your vest. One of the things that we were discussing in our leadership meeting, by the way, Debbie, Donald, and myself were on the leadership board. So which we're talking about leadership, just kind of so you kind of understand it. We were talking about when we as agents, there's so many agents out there. And when we as agents want to find our niche and we want to define ourselves and set us apart from all the other agents out there, it's important to keep in mind to stick with that thought of your demographics and who you're working with, because this demographic is slower than, let's say, a seller or buyer that's 55, or somebody that's in their 30s, or somebody that's been renting all along. We're talking about a homeowner that has owned their home for 30 years plus. We know that 76% of the home ownership is owned by seniors, by the 65 demographic. So when you keep that in mind, they probably owned one home and this is their first home. So trust me, paperwork has changed drastically from the first home they bought to the next home that they're about to buy and they're selling. It's going to take time. Seniors, I mean, we're all older, you know, so we understand that we like things a little slower. However, as you get up to deal with people that are in their 80s or 90s, or you're dealing also with the dynamics of a family who's got to sell or probably a probate, this little niche is great. And nobody's working it, you know, this little senior market. But with that being said, remember the type of demographic that we're working with and what they want. They love statistics. They love free stuff. They love knowing what's going on in their community. They don't want to move out of their house. However, they may end up having to move out. And that's where you're going to come in to help. You know, it's helping them downsize, helping them understand, you know, that if this referral list can't help you and you can't age in place in the home you're currently in, then let's get you out and safely into a home where you can do that. Because aging in place doesn't necessarily mean the home they're in right now. Doesn't. It means the home that you're going to be in that you can age safely for the remainder of it. And so that's that thought process is hard to overcome until you hit something like a fall or, something that happens where it forces you to do it. So just be there, be present for seniors, but give them information. I'm not leaving it out there for everybody, as Donald to Debbie said. You want to hold this close to your vest and make this your niche, but you also want to gain the trust of seniors. And by doing that is having this information available for them, letting them know that there is a place where they can get this, that they don't have to scour the internet like Eve was just doing. It's overwhelming, especially when you're in the thick of it and you can't see straight. So if you have this homework already done for them, it's great because you just send that list right out and they have it. So just, like when you're putting the list together, think about that senior demographic, if that's who you're marketing or doing this referral list to, and keep in mind of your surroundings, what your area, the homes in your area really need. We in California, Los Angeles, retrofitters, there's certain things that, Californians need where you're not going to need a retrofitter in Florida. So siding of houses. So those are just the little things to keep in mind, and then kind of gear it, like tweak it, and then put some senior stuff in it to kind of set you apart from the other thousands of agents out there that are just marketing to home buyers and home sellers. You're marketing to home buyers and sellers that are in the senior sector.
So one other thing that I was thinking of, I've actually put a screenshot of this. I don't put the website in my listing presentation, but I show a screenshot of it because we had a realtor couple that would do the estate sale themselves for people. They did the decluttering for the people. They were two people that did anything and everything that people wanted them to do. Now, how they did it, I don't know, but thankfully they have moved on to the other side of the development here. So they're not able to do that, but they would beat me on listing presentations because they'd say, well, me and my wife will do blah, 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 blah. And they had 15 things they listed. Well, now I show my list that says, hey, I've got all these folks that I work with as a team. We're a one shop stopping team. So anyways, it's the thing that you want to kind of think of that too, that it may be a listing tool in the end. So
I just want to share one quick thing. Amy Roberts has been working on something. It's called Salsa. It's the Successfully Aging and Living in San Antonio. Everybody has some sort of senior type community within where you live. You're just going to have to do some digging, but trust me, it's there. And so she's been working with this group, and the San Antonio Housing Authority has asked her to come in to look over some plans and to help them with an apartment community for seniors. And the reason why I bring this up is because that her getting involved in something like this opens a door for so many other possibilities that are around in San Antonio. We're talking about the San Antonio Housing Authority. I mean, that's pretty big. That's just by her being involved in a senior group, helping people aging and help. If they're not able to age in place, then she's going to find them other places to live. But you got to network and you got to get involved, and don't be scared. It's fun. It really is. It's fun to get out there and to network with people, not just aging people, but in anything in the senior sector. Don't be afraid of doing it. We're going to have more marketing stuff coming up. Next week, we're kind of getting down on time. Next week, Donald, who do we have next week?
We're doing lead generation and marketing.
So join us for lead generation and marketing. Yeah. I want to thank everybody for coming. And I'm going to just, if anybody has any questions, I'm going to open it up, and please answer, ask us questions, anything. We'd also love for anybody to give us some ideas of kind of talks and chats that you would like to see on Tuesday nights, because we're always open to things like that. Anybody? Okay. So for myself, Heather Brooks, and Donald Maycott, and Debbie Gentry, and the Seniors Network, we appreciate you joining us tonight. We look forward to seeing you next week. I will be, and Donald will be, putting out some stuff out there to just remind you about next week's talk. We've got some great, more stuff coming later down in the month. We're going to do some, I believe, decluttering. We're going to talk about decluttering. We're going to talk about other things. So thank you all for joining us. I appreciate it. Have a great night.
Thank you, everyone. The recording will be available tomorrow. So if you know anyone who didn't make it tonight, let them know. The recording will be available in our group. Thank you very much for coming. See you next week.
Thank you, everyone.
Yep, great session. Thanks, everybody. Have a good evening. Stay safe down there.